most important mitzvah of the day on Rosh Hashanah, and the highlight of the day, is the blowing of the shofar. The obligation would seem to be a very simple one. The Torah says, Yom Teruah Yeh Lochem, it shall be for you a day of blowing. There is, however, a major question regarding the essence of the obligation itself. What exactly are we commanded to do? To blow the shofar or to hear the sound of the shofar? Meaning, are we being told to blow the shofar, in which case the congregation are fulfilling their individual obligations through the one who is actually making the sounds, because he is doing it on their behalf, in which case it is considered as if each one had blown the shofar himself? Or perhaps the mitzvah is simply to hear the sounds of the shofar, and the congregation fulfills the obligation purely through the act of listening to the sounds of the shofar. Is it hearing or is it blowing? This question is subject to dispute by some of the greatest early halachic authorities. The most practical difference between these two opinions would be whether we recite the bracha to hear the sound of the shofar, or whether we say on the blowing of the shofar. On a practical level, almost everyone today recites the bracha to hear the shofar, which would seem to indicate that the main obligation is to listen as opposed to blowing the shofar. The shofar is full of hidden messages, but perhaps the most simple message that the shofar teaches us is the importance of pausing for a moment from all that we are doing and to start being present and engage in active listening to what is going on around us. Throughout our day, we spend our time blowing our own horn, so to say, furthering our careers, taking care of our needs, and generally seeing the world through our own lenses, caring for what is important to us. When it comes to our kids, we need to take off the lenses through which we see the world and start to listen and hear from our kids and respond in kind for what is to their benefit. We may want them to grow up in a certain way, to take on a particular career, to engage in a particular activity. But the question we need to ask ourselves is that just me blowing my own horn? Or is this actually something beneficial and something which is suited to this specific child? The shofar teaches us the importance of listening to each individual sound, hearing and responding in kind to the individual child. And just like with the shofar, to fulfill one's obligation as a parent, to experience the power of parenting, we need to do less blowing and more listening. Good Shabbos, a good sweet new year to you and your families.